the training pyramid for horse education and conditioning. Have we ever wondered why some horses give the most precise response with the slightest aid? Why are some horses still unbalanced and unresponsive even after extensive training? The fundamental secret to achieving true success lies in building solid and scientific foundations. These principles are structured around a framework called the horse training pyramid. This pyramid is a comprehensive roadmap for building a healthy, balanced horse prepared to deliver professional performance, whether in jumping or in the discipline of dressage. Hello and greetings to all you dear riders. I truly hope you're doing well today and have had a very productive and good sporting week so far. Before starting anything else, I must take a moment to remind you that in this particular video, we talk extensively about the personal experience of many different riders and trainers. So we've avoided mentioning many of the basic and elementary points. A point you should always remember. The fundamental truth is that absolutely every single thing commences with the walk and concludes with the walk. If you find that you cannot properly learn and perform a specific skill or a movement at the walk, it simply means you are not yet fully prepared or ready to attempt that same movement at much faster and more rapid gaits. Don't forget that transitions are your very good friends. Transitions make your horse much more supple and flexible, more balanced, and more attentive and responsive. To put it quite simply, it means your horse gives a more willing, positive, and highly precise response to your requests. The first level in the training pyramid, which is the basis of horse training, is rhythm. Everything starts with rhythm, where the horse must remain calm and regular in its movements. That is, the horse must be able to perform the three basic gaits walk, trot, and canter with a steady rhythm, appropriate energy, and without tension. Horses whose rhythm is not steady, meaning they can't maintain their rhythm, can never reach the higher levels. Simple things are often harder than they seem, than they first appear. I'll explain this sentence more later. My suggested exercise for horses that have trouble maintaining their rhythm is first to try to choose straight lines. Then practice maintaining the rhythm with your horse on large curves. Try to count the horse's rhythm in your head. For example, in the canter, count every 5 strides of the horse. Try to maintain the tempo of the movement. You don't need to count out loud. Just repeating it in your mind will help your body grasp the rhythm and guide the horse correctly. For example, in the canter rhythm, it's a distinct 3-beat rhythm that is very often heard from a trainer while working in the arena. And you can count the canter rhythm as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This simple counting method can be very useful for riders, meaning consistently counting your horse's rhythmic strides in the canter. Please write to us about your experiences with it in the comments. The second base and the next stage of this pyramid is relaxation and suppleness. Suppleness and relaxation. The horse must move calmly and freely in its body, both longitudinally and laterally, meaning flexibly, neither stiff and contracted nor excessively loose. This is where groundwork with a slow rhythm, small circles, and bending exercises come into play. By maintaining a steady rhythm, start strengthening your own skills. Focus on your balance and seat as a professional rider. Make sure that your aids reach the horse clearly and precisely. Don't be stiff and rigid, and gradually create flexibility in your contact with the horse. At this stage, put a lot of effort into strengthening these points. The first is a good seat, meaning sitting well is very effective. Give and take, have a back and forth with your horse, which is very important. What does that mean? It means make a request of your horse and it should respond to you with the correct behavior. There must be a constant conversation flowing between the rider and the horse. This behavior allows you to evaluate the quality of your skills. It makes it possible for you to assess your own abilities. There are plenty of books that have been written solely on this subject. This can just be a gentle encouragement for you to pursue your goals and delve deeper into the subject. The next item is clear and clean aids. This means that the writing aids must be straightforward, precise, and easy to understand. The better you communicate your intent to the horse, the more relaxed the horse will be during the movements, because it fully understands what you want and can perform the movements calmly and smoothly. The next point is the rider's relaxation and calmness during the training session. A horse's body is essentially like a highly sophisticated biological machine with multiple sensors. And all these sensors are intricately and seamlessly connected to your own body. Even the most subtle movement or physical tension causes an immediate signal to be sent to the machine. And more importantly, the rider must respond with precision and correctness when faced with a mistake from the horse. Horses make mistakes too, and your behavior towards those mistakes is very valuable and important, as it can sometimes make the horse upset and nervous. Correcting that behavior later will be much harder, and you can't just erase it from the horse's mind with a treat. Transitions can also be part of the give and take. But since they are so effective and useful, I decided to mention them here as a distinct and separate point. Don't forget the transitions. The third pillar is contact and connection. Contact and connection. Contact means establishing a connection between your hand and the horse's mouth. To put it better, creating coordination and harmony between the rider's seat, leg, and hand. But not a connection, that's stiff and controlling. It shouldn't be like that at all. Contact is a living relationship between the rider's hands and the horse's mouth, not just physical pressure. A completely two-way relationship, a healthy relationship where both sides are allowed to speak and respect each other. The same give and take I mentioned before. The horse must listen to the rider's aids rather than just tolerating them. The horse must fully accept the various aids of the rider's leg, seat, and hands and respond to each of them promptly and correctly. On the other hand, the rider must have the capacity to respect the horse's mental and physical state. You should consistently strive toward developing an aware horse, not a merely submissive animal. And at the same time, always work to deepen and refine your connection with the horse. At this stage, the horse's balance and the quality of its strides are very important. In a sense, without them, true connection and physical contact won't form. The horse must continue to move forward smoothly. Always remember that everything fundamental starts from the rider's balanced seat, so don't look for it anywhere else. You must anticipate your horse's needs, meaning when you're working on the basic foundations of the training pyramid like rhythm and suppleness, you must remember that the quality of your work will significantly help your horse to progress more easily and much more quickly in the later stages. In a way, you should have a chart and both short-term and long-term planning to enhance your horse's skills as well. I know there are many important points and tips, and you might already know many of them, but we're here to delve much deeper into these topics, to describe them better so we can reach a true level of discernment. So please stay right here with us. One point I should remind you of here uh, is that true contact and meaningful connection don't simply mean bending the horse's head. A very common mistake is forcibly keeping the horse's head down, which only creates unnecessary physical pressure and lasting psychological harm. As you already know, you should never ever force the horse's head down in this manner. Don't be fooled by the deceptive appearance of the horses. When we consider the practice of tying and keeping the horse's head down, we truly need to be more aware of the term on the bit and what its true functional purpose actually is. In a way to put it better, simply tying, forcibly keeping it down, or even bending the horse's head is definitely not part of proper training. So you might naturally wonder, why are so many riders and trainers still obsessed with having the horse's head held down in that position? A horse is a sensitive animal and a flight animal. In nature, it's considered prey, not a predator. Pulling the horse's head down activates the feeling of fear and instinctive flight in its mind. Applying constant pressure with the reins to pull the horse's head down is a common mistake that many inexperienced riders frequently make. Instead, energy should be directed from the rear and the back of the horse towards the front itself. The horse should ideally maintain a light, soft, and steady contact with its rider at all times. If the horse falls behind the bit, it is considered a negative trait. However, if it goes over the bit, it is significantly worse because it causes artificial pressure and excessive physical strain, specifically in the neck area, and causes the horse to fall forward. We have covered being on the bit and establishing contact in great detail in the next video. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. But one thing that is very important to me in this video is the categorization of the skills that a young horse must learn relative to this training pyramid, or even horses that have encountered problems for any reason and their level has dropped and they've had a decline in quality. Now, how and when should we test them again and begin to have higher expectations of them? Meaning, when is it appropriate to ramp up the intensity and pressure of the training exercises for these specific types of horses? This stage is the master key to jumping, the master key to dressage movements like piaffe, passage, and even collection and contact and full connection. The third command involves moving on straight lines followed by a sudden stop. But the reality is that being fast doesn't necessarily mean having impulsion. There is a difference between moving fast and actually having real impulsion, meaning the horse's body on a straight line must be positioned on two axes. Maintaining a straight posture without having proper balance is not possible. The image you see is a comparison of two riders with different balance.